traveled to India for the purposes that God had for us. We are aware that God is the creator of all things, and He moves us where He will, and so we are grateful to be here today. There's a verse in the Bible that says God determines the time and the place of our dwelling, and it is no small coincidence that we are all here today. For God knew where you would be, where I would be, and that we would be here together. And so it is a distinct honor to which I'm very grateful, and honored to be here with you today. And while you will focus over the next few hours on innovation and trends globally, I want to take just a few minutes with you and talk to you about one aspect of life that is timeless, that does not equivocate to trends. I want to talk to you about your purpose. I want to talk to you about your reason. In fact, I'll start with a question. And it really is a question that every person in the room must answer. It matters not our age. It doesn't matter if we are the youngest or the oldest. It doesn't matter if we are an Aka or a Tongachi. It doesn't matter if we are... All of us answer this question. What matters most in life? What matters most in life? You'll notice I did not say what matters most in life to you, because it could be that what matters most in life to you is not what matters most. We are in a season of life that we are filled with opportunities. We have unbelievable opportunities before us. But might I encourage you for just a few moments before you enter into what will be helpful and encouraging and equipping academic lectures, before you enter into those, would you not for just a moment ask, what is most important in life? Is it your studies? Is it your family, your culture, your friendships? Is it your country, your finances? Your expectations that you place upon yourself? Or could it be the expectations that are placed upon you by others? But maybe it's the pressure you feel to achieve. We have learned that here in India, 10th standard is very important. We've got a 13-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 9-year-old. And what we see is so much pressure building toward 10th standard, and that pressure could be what matters most. Or what about your appearance? What you wear, how your hairstyle is? Well, what about your possessions? What you have, what you are seeking to acquire? Your purpose, your religion, your charity, your generosity. So let me ask you, what matters most in life? Simply, what are you here for? Not here today. I know why you're here today. But what has God put you on this planet for? Certainly it may be business development. It may be international affairs. It may be the work of politics. It may be to be a mom or a dad. But what are you here for? Is it success? Is it intellect? Is it financial prosperity? Is it the respect of your peers? Position, power, influence? Could it be that any of these things are good things, but are they not ultimate things? Any or all of these things could be your aim. In fact, if you would take just a moment, you would start to discern what you are pursuing, what you are chasing after. But might I suggest that every person in the room has something even greater to pursue with your life. That there is a God-given, intrinsically created purpose for you and for me. But before I do that, let me tell you a story of a lady named Florence Chadwick. On August 9th, 1950, at the age of 31, she crossed the English Channel from France to England in 13 hours and 20 minutes, breaking the then current world women's record. All by swimming. No assistance, no performance-enhancing drugs. She just swam from France to England. 1 year later, Chadwick crossed the English Channel again from England to France, this time in 16 hours and 22 minutes, thus making her the first woman to swim the English Channel in both directions and setting a record for the English-French journey. She ultimately swam the channel 4 times. 2 years later, she would set out to shatter another world record. In 1952, Florence stepped off of the beach at Catalina Island and into the water, determined to swim to the shores of mainland California, which was 26 miles from her beginning. The fog was dense, the air was chilly, and as she set out from Catalina, she was overwhelmed by her circumstances. She had people with her in boats to ensure that sharks would stay away, that she had help in time of need. She had all that she needed. But she struggled through this journey. For 15 hours she swam. 15 hours she swam. She begged at times, please take me out of the water. I cannot do this. She was ready to give in, but her trainer, her teacher, urged her to persist. Continue, Florence. Do not give up. Again and again, he persuaded her. But physically and emotionally, she was exhausted and unable to continue. And finally, she just stopped swimming. She was pulled into the boat. She soon realized, though, she had completed 25 of the 26 miles. The shore that she was pursuing was only a mile away. She was almost there. Her drive and her strength were second to none, but she failed. Why did she fail this 26-mile swim? In her words, she said this, all I could see was the fog. I think if I could have seen the shore, I would have made it. What was different about this trip than the others that she had swum? She lost sight of her final goal. She lost sight of the shore. You see, the shore is what kept her focused. In fact, she would go back and she would swim this again. She kept a mental image in her mind. And maybe for you, you're at the precipice of your life. You're on the horizon of life. And maybe you feel the pressure of academics and family and expectation. And you just say, I cannot do it any longer. Might I remind you, there is a shore yet ahead. Think with me for just a moment about what your shore or what your beach is. Could you not be at that 25-mile point and your goal is only a mile away? What is it that you are pursuing? What is it that's driving you forward? Is it your father, your mother, those expectations, desire, personal achievement, pride in yourself, proving that you can make it, a longing for money, stability, or future success? Many people that I've talked to here in Chennai, it seems to be one of the great goals is to make enough money and move to the West, experience all the glory and the grandeur that the West has to offer. But might I remind you, the West does not have many things that Chennai has. The West does not have a deep sense of hospitality and care and honor. I was taught that my children should learn ni and ninga because children don't receive respect, but every adult does. And so we are teaching our children to respect and to honor. And so we are learning that there is much about this culture. We were told before we moved here, Chennai is rumba suda, and it is hot, very hot here. But we were told this, that the hospitality of the people, the kindness of those that you will come in contact with will far outpace the difficulty of finding what you will be in. We have learned that to be true. As I consider in my own life what matters most, what on earth was I put here for? A verse from the Bible comes to mind. Over and over as I ask this question, might I suggest that this purpose that has been located for me would also be the same purpose for you. For God is the creator of all. The Bible says in Psalm chapter 96, sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord all the earth. The global command here is for all people to sing to God. Sing to the Lord. Praise his name. Proclaim his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the nations. His marvelous deeds among all people. Friends, you were created to sing for glory. You were created to proclaim the goodness of God. This is the end that I must keep in mind. This is your shore. This is my shore. So if you gain education here, might your education lead you to this shore, to lead others to understand what their grand purpose is. A very wise man from the scriptures, Jesus, once said, for what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and suffer the loss of his soul? You are on the front end of your life, but hear those words clearly. What does it gain if you gather the whole world to yourself, yet lose your soul? I'm sure you, just like I were shocked just a couple weeks ago when we learned of then, in the 1980s, a young stockbroker who had grand visions of taking a family business and showing the world how beautiful it was, of building what would be a conglomerate that would move across all of India and foster friendship and relationship. And to hear that his body was washed up, the founder of Cafe Coffee Day, seemingly from many of our perspective, to have the whole world in his palm. And this was written in a letter shortly before his demise. My intention was never to create or mislead anybody. Listen to these words. Many of us have had coffee in his coffee shop in the last several days. He said, I have failed as an entrepreneur. Now, many of you are on the beginning of a journey, but let us look at him. Let us see that at the end of his journey, he said, I did not intend for this. This was not what I hoped would happen. I have failed. Might I encourage you to safeguard yourself from failure by connecting with the right shore? Prosperity and financial prosperity is not the answer. The answer is connecting with the one who has created you, connecting with none other than Jesus himself. The Bible makes it clear for us. For what will it profit a man? What will it profit you if you place a certain financial figure or a certain